Good evening, good evening, good evening. How y'all doing tonight? How are y'all doing tonight? Hey, Miss Desi. Now, Bobby, that's a little much, don't you think? It's only year two. It's only year two. Hey, Miss Moore. Hey, y'all. Look. Welcome to another edition of SWAC Saturdays with She Loves Thee. It's supposed to say week 7. Let me see what I did wrong. There we go. There we go. Let me go ahead and drop the link. Drop the link just to start off. We might as well just go ahead and drop the link so We can get these folks up in here and we can get up on out of here. Has order been restored? This is the question of the night. Has order been restored?
Yeah, man, hey, write a check your ass in cash, man. That's all I can say.
Okay, so of course we're going to go over the Grambling versus Alcorn game, UAPB versus Prairie View, Alabama A&M versus Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State versus Mississippi Valley, and then right now, currently, as of right now, Southern versus Texas Southern. And let me see what the score is. I think it's 6-14. Texas Southern winning. Oh no. This says 3-14. I don't know what's going on with them scores. Order has been restored. The bottom of the SWAC. And Ladarius, don't be over here caping for the Gatorade Brigade. That's what happens when you celebrate too soon. Listen, there's nothing wrong with doing a Gatorade bath for a classic, right? We had the Gulf Coast Classic. You got the Magic City Classic. You got what other kind of classic? You got the Bayou Classic, Southern Heritage Classic. Got all kind of classics, and you guys can definitely do the Gatorade bath. But doing the Gatorade bath for a SWAC game that counted as a non-conference game and then losing every game since for the ones that actually mattered. Ooh, that's gotta hurt, right? You already crowned yourself king of the SWAC West before you even got to the actual games that count. Now you done lost to Alcorn and you lost to Prairie View. And then Prairie View loses to UAPB. I told y'all, I tell you every year that the SWAC West is the battle of the worst. When I say battle of the worst, it means which team can come out on top, but they all just, it's all over the place. See, in the SWAC East, there's a pecking order that's been there for at least 3 or 4 years, right? There's a pecking order. Right, after everybody talking mess about Alcorn and they shouldn't be at the top. Why are they at the top? Why are they primed to win? Boy, I just posted. Make sure you guys go back and listen to that. I just posted a clip from PV versus everybody. See, this is how the SWAC West was supposed to look, right? Alcorn was at the top, and then Prairie View, then Grambling, then Southern, UAPB, and Texas Southern. And now, let me go ahead and look at these SWAC standings. I'm pretty sure Grambling is definitely at the bottom now. Like, they're below the bottom after they lost this game. Prairie View, too. I think the ones that be talking the most noise out. I ain't been saying too much, I'm gonna hold off. I've been talking mess, but I haven't been talking mess like I did last year. Ooh, boy. All right. So say what you want about Alcorn and how bad they were playing out of conference. They're 3-0 in or out of conference play. They're 4-3 overall, undefeated at home. Listen, they are 3-0 in conference play, which that's what really matters, right? Conference play. Southern, they are trying. They're losing right now, but they trying to beat Texas Southern so that they can stay in this race, right? Then you got Arkansas Pine Bluff in the middle of the pack. Look at them. You got Prairie View. They've lost 3 conference games. They are essentially out of contention for the SWAC West. But look at who's at the very bottom. Grambling State. They said Texas Southern might take the West. How's you think Texas Southern going to beat Alcorn? Yeah. It's not been good, y'all. It's not. I mean, it's not even just the SWAC East been looking kind of fishy. Yeah. My son said it looked kind of fishy. He needs to go to bed. All right. Chris says Mississippi SWAC Championship. It's going to be at the vet. 60,000 at the vet. All right. So here's the thing. Dang, Jay White, you in early. You must be an old head. Ain't no way you in for the night. Just got back to the house from homecoming. What kind of homecoming you doing? Coming in at 9:21, or is it 8? You must be an old head, Jay White. That man said he got church in the morning. He's just back in the house from homecoming. You ain't going back outside. Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say, what kind of homecoming you got? Only question is the vet or the reservation. Y'all really think, okay, so, hey, Jay, listen. Y'all. Where is Mr. Drop the Link? Where is Uncle Willie? I need to hear what they have to say. Because, baby, some of this football that I've seen, and then you see that team lose to that particular team, it's like, how? Alcorn been playing rough, tough, bad. Like, you would just look and just be like, man, I think they didn't score a touchdown till week 3 or 4. And they just dismantled Grambling. I already dropped the link, Mr. Ford. Yeah, we need to hear what they're saying. I'm so glad that Mr. Ford is coming back up here. Oh, wait. Let me do my public service announcement before y'all get up in here clowning. Listen, we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to talk about how the order has been restored. I'm so glad that I get to have a Grambling alum come up here and talk about it, because he said that Grambling pimp slapped Jackson State a couple of weeks ago, and they ain't been right since. So we're getting ready to bring up Mr. Ford. Just a FYI, if we're talking about teams, we're not going to name the players' names unless it's probably like the quarterback. We're definitely going to talk about quarterback, and we're going to use names for the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks, I'm sorry, y'all are not safe from your name being discussed. But other than that, everybody else, you just name defense or offense and secondary or front seven or offensive line. Thank you guys for being so courteous. Hey, Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Mona? You doing all right?
Mr. Ford, I'm good. Good. We were just looking at, and we saw that the order is being restored over there in the SWAC West, ain't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was looking at Southern and Texas Southern. It was a great halftime show.
You was watching the halftime because the football. What's the football been hitting on?
Texas Southern is looking really good. I think is it 14-0?
I'm so glad we already beat them.
Yeah,
So,
they
Mr. Ford,
getting
really
good.
get pimp slapped?
Well, first of all, let me congratulations to the Alcorn Braves, to Coach Thomas. I thought the difference in the game was the new quarterback at Alcorn, the kid that transferred from Lincoln University. Because they found another
Oh,
quarterback.
we need to, you know that, you said he transferred from Lincoln. So you
Yeah,
know that, the original, their offensive coordinator was supposed to come to Jackson State, right?
yeah,
And he
yeah.
was supposed to come as a wide receiver coach.
Right, right,
And he was at Lincoln University. That's in Lincoln, Missouri.
right.
And he said, "Oh, okay, they got an offensive coordinator position open. Let me go ahead and take that." And let me look up this young man. So here's the thing. It'll be like a week where they'll do really, really good, right?
Uh,
And then it's not necessarily consistent. Do you think that this particular quarterback could be consistent? Is it Von Xavier? Xavier Vaughn? Yeah.
yeah,
So
I think
Xavier
so.
Vaughn is a let me share this. He is 6'6", 200 pounds quarterback. He's a graduate student from Beaumont, Texas. He's actually been playing all the games. He had 2 touchdowns against Arkansas Pine Bluff, 1 against Valley, 1 against McNeese, 4 against Edward Waters. So he's been playing.
Right, right.
Um, let me see how he did against Grambling. It's hard to win in the hole, ain't it, Mr. Ford?
Yeah, yeah. It was a defensive battle for a while. But I thought that he made some plays in the end that propelled them to the win. And let me say this: Miles Crawley is he's mediocre at best, and he might not even be mediocre.
Okay, so here's my thing, Mr. Ford. First
Mhm.
of all, Miles Crawley is the SWAC preseason offensive player of the year.
And
That's
that's
number one.
horrible. That's horrible.
Okay, but number 2, wait a minute. He has the same amount of stats as the other young man.
Yeah, but that young man brings the ability to make a play.
Okay, so let's look at these stats. So Xavier Vaughn had 149 yards. Miles Crawley had 149 yards too.
Yeah, but that's just the stats. There's a big difference.
All
See,
right, let's look at the individual.
that kid can carry his team. He can carry his team on his back.
Okay, so he was 10 of 18 for 149 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. His longest throw was 73 yards, and he had 2 sacks. Okay, so you might also want to look at the fact that Miles Crawley had 4 sacks, which means that his offensive line wasn't holding up or he was running out the pocket. But he
Well,
didn't have any touchdowns tonight.
yeah, but now one thing about it, Cedric Thomas is always going to have his defense ready and prepared to play, and he's going to make adjustments. He's going to bring a lot of pressure. He does a really good job with his defense. But I thought, that offense was going to be the problem for them, but this kid is going to bail them out. This kid from Lincoln, he's electric. He can run it. He's dual threat. Now he's not what I would call a seasoned passer, okay, but he can really run the football. He has like wide receiver speed.
Okay, they said that he had 9 attempts for 33 yards and he had a net of 15 yards on the ground.
Okay.
Miles Crawley basically was getting stuff though defensively. He was getting sacked. The
Yeah.
offensive line. So here's my thing. And you know what? I don't even feel like the game of the week. I really feel like the game of the week was UAPB versus Prairie View. What do you think about? Did you get a chance to watch that on Friday
No,
night?
I heard about it. I heard about, but you know the guy that's the offensive coordinator at Pine Bluff was at Grambling last year's offensive coordinator, and they said he was doing a pretty good job. And then Hugh Jackson took the play calling away from him, Tony Hall or whatever his name was. But he's doing a good job at Pine Bluff.
Why is it that every time our team is down, we always be like, the refs are cheating. The refs are cheating. Refs are cheating. Touchdown Southern. So I want to take a look at Makai Higgins because I really think this young man is very dynamic. I feel like UAPB offensively, they've got some things going on over there. And they're building, right? I
Right.
also think that it takes 3 or 4 years to build a team. And I don't feel like the SWAC is giving our coaches enough time to develop a team.
Yeah. I've said that over and over. There are certain SWAC programs that are impatient. You can't come to certain schools in the SWAC and learn how to coach. You've got to be able. Your resume has to say championships. Because see, Jackson State, Southern, Grambling, Florida A&M, North Carolina A&T, they want championships. And if you can't deliver a championship in about 2 years, they ready for you to move on. Like you
It
said,
doesn't make
they have no
sense because
patience.
no championship team in the past was ever built in 2 years. No
Well,
dynasty or historically has ever been built in 2 years. I've seen people complaining about Coach Woody at Bethune.
uh-huh.
He's had his first year at the helm. He was hired late. He recovering from 2 hurricanes, recovering from broken facilities. So of course they felt like year 1 was a wash. He did some recruiting in the transfer portal, and baby, they already asking for his head. Like what? And not only
Well,
that, Cookman had another hurricane that decimated the campus with excessive flooding. So what does that mean? Excessive flooding, and then the type of temperatures there are, that's another round of mold that they have to get under control. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they're just way too hard and their expectations are way too high. That Dion came in here and killed a lot of expectations for these coaches.
well, you got to understand now, Bethune-Cookman is expected to keep up with Florida A&M. Not only are they expected to keep up with Florida A&M, they're expected to beat Florida A&M. Okay,
In what
that's what
world?
that's what their faithful want. Okay, and so you're right. There are some outside circumstances. The floods and all of that. But these people
Not
want.
just the floods, but that puts a hamper on recruiting because nobody wants to send their kids down to a place that has excessive natural disasters.
Yeah, but let me just tell you this. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. Because of the fact that Florida A&M is winning, Bethune-Cookman wants to be wherever and on top of Florida A&M. That's how they roll. They want to be. At one time, Bethune-Cookman beat Florida A&M 9 years in a row. That wasn't 100 years ago.
Is this with Terry Sims? Who is this with?
Well, it was Brian Jenkins, a combination of Brian Jenkins and Terry Sims.
Okay, but you do know that they basically took all of the funding away from Bethune Cookman because they had to do the restructuring.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I knew
So
about that.
they literally bankrupt the athletics department. There was no money there.
Well, come Florida Classic, all of that, they don't want to hear that. Them people at Bethune-Cookman want a win against Florida A&M. That's what they want. They don't want to hear about restructuring and They bankrupt and all that. They want to win.
Go. Well, let me turn this thing off so y'all can see this. All right. Mr. Ford.
Uh-huh.
Here's the rankings.
Okay.
For the SWAC West, we got Alcorn State 3-0, Southern University 1-0, Texas Southern 1-1. Thanks, Jerome. Arkansas Pine Bluff 1-1. Prairie
Uh-huh.
View's 1-3. Bad News Bears is 0-2. Who is the Bad News Bears? Anyway, and Grambling State is at the bottom.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know how Jackson State messed up and lost against Grambling. They have not won against Prairie View or Alcorn. These are the games that mattered. Mr. Ford, how are they going to fix it?
Well, we're building. Remember, we're building. I'm very happy with our coaching staff. I know that, like I said, they lost a lot of players. Okay. I like what I see. And I think things are going to get better. I really like Jay. I was really impressed with Jason Rollins today as the game he called as defensive coordinator. I'm going to say this, and I know some people are not going to like it, but when Miles Crowley's career is over at Grambling, he will not be missed. And I think that whoever's backing him up will be better.
You always talk about somebody won't be missed.
He won't.
You
Well,
said
listen, wait a minute. Let me apologize on them guys from FAMU that I told you that. I told you that that Dunn Kid and General Hunt would not be missed. I lied. They are missed.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
What did you do? What did you do, Mr. Ford?
I lied. Because I said that General Hunt and that guy's name was Dunn. He was a defensive end. I said he would not be missed. I lied. They are missed. Okay, that's why right now I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I'm picking Jackson State to beat FAM because I just don't like FAMU's defensive line.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ford. You got me cracking up.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't mean to bring up old stuff, right? But I didn't come on for the rest of the week. You know, my son had a teacher work day, and
Yeah.
so since you bringing up the word lied,
Yeah.
and there was a debacle last Saturday, and I just wanted you to give the viewers a chance to explain yourself what you meant by the lying part, right? I wanted you to explain the W.C. Gordon field. I just wanted to clear it up, because it happened on my show and I didn't get a chance to clear the air. So I just wanted for you to just explain what you meant by that without, just what is the W.C. Gordon field? Because a lot of us are, we
Okay.
listen to the history.
Let me say this. I have always had a tremendous respect for W.C. Gordon when he was coaching at Jackson. When I was in the 11th grade, which was, I think, 1976, he became the head coach. And for us, he was an iconic figure. We always saw him in Jet. We saw him in national magazines. We saw him speaking at the coaching conventions and those kinds of things, right? And I just thought it was blasphemy that you would mention TC's team and W.C. Gordon's team in the same breath, okay? Because I saw W.C. Gordon as a great coach for many, many years, okay? I saw him coach in the late 70s. I saw him coach in the 80s, and then I saw him coach in the early 90s. I think he retired. Didn't he retire about, 91, 92, or 93? When did he retire?
Mm-hmm.
And I will be honest with you, I was offended that you would mention TC, who has only been a head coach 2 years, against, in my estimation, one of the all-time greats. You don't do that. That's like taking Mickey Joseph, who's been at Grambling now, he's completing his first year, and then you mention him in the breath with Eddie Robinson. To me,
1991.
right, 1991. See, to me, that's irresponsible. Okay? You don't mention, okay, these young new coaches in the same breath with all-time greats. Okay, when they write the history of college football, there will be a page or a chapter about W.C. Gordon. There will be a page or a chapter about Eddie Robinson. Okay, so that's why I felt that, and I said what I said, because to me, you don't mention someone who's only been a head coach 2 years in the same breath with W.C. Gordon.
And just to clear that up, you're not derogatorily saying anything bad about TC. TC is
No, no, no.
building
Listen, I
these
met
systems.
TC in Durham. I
Right.
thought the world of TC. I met
Right.
him in Durham. I met TC. I met Jerry Mack, the guy who left y'all and went to South Alabama. Bradley, the guy who, what's his name? Grantland or he was on. They were all on the staff at North Carolina Central. I went to Durham one summer. I met all of them. I found out that a kid that I had sent to Jackson played with Jerry Mack and with TC. God, I'm trying to think. Was he? I think he was in the same class with them. That young man graduated from Jackson. He's a instructor in this public school system here in Atlanta. But yeah, no, I love TC. I love TC.
I just
But
wanted you to clear it up because
yeah,
there was so many loose ends to it. And when you said that you said that Gentle Hunt wouldn't be missed,
oh, I
you said
lied.
that.
Oh, I lied. And not only was he missed, I'm gonna say this to y'all again. Smitty Rock is missed. The defensive coordinator they had last year, he's missed. The Dunn kid is missed. You want to go
Like you
further?
said,
The Summers kid is missed too.
FAMU is soft in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
You
I'm
said
thinking
that
about
in the summer. You said no, it was after the spring game. You said, "Hey, I was watching. I watched the spring game,
yeah,
and FAMU is soft in the middle, and they're gonna need to do some recruiting."
and they did. They did.
They did do some recruiting, and some of that might also be like meshing well, right?
Right.
And the expectation that they have on FAMU, and regardless of if FAMU is soft in the middle, because we do see that when it comes to FAMU, there are a lot of rushing yardage. FAMU's defense overall is still able to hold, from what we've seen, the SWAC teams that they do play, still able to hold them down to relatively not a lot of points, right? So FAMU played Alabama State, which offensively they've been off, but today, good Lord, they scored so many points against Valley. You didn't even know that Alabama State had that in them, right, Mr. Ford? They busted wide open with the scoring.
Oh yeah. You mean that? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Now there's a lot of talent on that Alabama State, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It's just that
Rico Dozier, the linebackers.
yeah, but my thing is that second quarterback that they brought in looked like a high school kid to me. And I'm saying you spend $12 million on athletics, and this is what you got as your backup quarterback. I can't believe it. Okay,
That's
and
not their backup. That's like their fourth and fifth string quarterback.
yeah, you might be right.
It
But
is. It's their fourth or fifth.
well, on that
Actually,
particular day, he was the
down two.
backup because when they took is that kid named Sims? think once they took Sims out, they brought in what I call
they lost Body, they lost O'Brien, and they lost their next quarterback. They were like literally on their fourth or fifth quarterback, who would probably be a redshirt quarterback, right? So, and even so, they scored, I want to say, like 50 points today.
Okay.
I mean, it was versus Valley.
Right.
Valley came. Okay, so Valley started the game punched Alabama State right in the mouth, and then punched them again. They was up 14-0 in the first quarter.
Right.
And I don't know what Coach Eddie Robinson said to them. He said, y'all, they better not score another touchdown. Alabama State rallied in 54-17 win over Valley. Kareem Key threw for 326 yards and 4 touchdowns. Who is this Kareem Key? It said Key threw an 84-yard scoring strike to Robert McMinn. So we're going to see about this Kareem Key, how he's able to match up against the rest of the SWAC. A lot of people are anxious about Coach Eddie Robinson, and I just feel like number one defense in the SWAC.
I have no questions about the defense. I really don't have any questions about their special teams. But listen, you can't win in the SWAC being one-dimensional. You can't win in the SWAC throwing the football one time in the first half, and then you turn around and you say that, okay, we're just gonna run it. You know that's not gonna fly in the SWAC, because when you are one-dimensional, there are some people who are going to defend you. The thing that keeps a defense off balance is when you are balanced, when you can run and throw it. Okay, and that's why they will be a third or fourth place team in the East, because they can't throw the football. You've got to be balanced. Once a defensive coordinator sees that you cannot throw the football, they're going to walk up 7, 8, sometimes 9 people in the box.
I mean, well, maybe Alabama State found their quarterback. They said he was a wide receiver.
I'm going to be honest with you. When that Magic City Classic comes around, don't be surprised if Alabama A&M beats Alabama State. Don't be surprised.
Is that enough to keep his job?
As far as you saying Alabama State, or who we talking
Alabama
about?
A&M, Coach Maynard.
I don't know, because as I talk to people here in Atlanta, a lot of them want to change. They want to change. So I don't know.
So here's my only thing with changes, right? So they get to asking for these changes.
Yeah, they are asking.
All the folks on Cascade Road, they get to asking for these changes, right?
Yeah, I told you a lot of people are impatient.
Folks are just supposed to be able to turn it on overnight. Like,
well, he's been there how many years now? How many years has Maynard been there? Now he did win one.
Now Maynard been there since 2018.
Because remember, he won that spring championship. Remember?
Right, but they had a COVID year, which I'm not making no excuses. I'm not trying to like make an excuse, right? But what I'm saying is, folks ask for these changes, and then they also expect you to win overnight. So with FAMU and with Jackson State, when those coaches, which is Coach Willie Simmons and Prime, left, they still left the team up here, right? So if you're up here and you fall off a little bit, you don't have that much to go to get, back up here. But if you're all the way down here, and then you fire the coach is literally building from scratch. So they have a further way to go. And therefore, I don't know. I feel like the whole hire a celebrity doesn't work. 2 years to build a team doesn't work. We're going to see how Southern does. I had folks that was mad about Southern losing certain games. I'm like, it's his first year.
Well, I told you that's how Southern is. They're impatient. I told you. See, you have to understand about Southern fans. Southern fans are very knowledgeable about football. Okay, they know not just Southern, but Jackson, Grambling, FAMU, the A&T. Those people are very knowledgeable about the game. And when they don't see good football or good coaching, I'm telling you, they get impatient because those people feed off of championships and they don't want to hear excuses. See, for them, you're talking about giving them 2 years and all that. To them, to a lot of these schools I just called out, that's an excuse that they don't want to hear because they've won in the past for many years. They've had golden eras. And so they ready for the golden
Eras were
come back.
not built overnight.
Oh yeah, I understand that, but you have to understand. A lot of our football fans are into instant gratification. Okay, they want to win, and they want to continue to win, and they want championships.
I feel like Alabama A&M has a very strong offensive line, right? And if Coach Maynard would have had Langford out the gate, that game could have definitely went a different way, right?
Well, why didn't he? Hey, listen. My thing is, why didn't he start him? I've been watching Langford now 3 years. The first time I saw him come off the bench. This was Andrew Body's freshman year and rally that team, and they beat Texas Southern in Huntsville. And I said, okay, that's the quarterback. Okay, so my thing is, you've had him 3 years. You know what he's capable of. You a quarterback coach.
Why
You
don't?
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, why? And that might be to his demise, right? Because when you do that with your quarterback, it makes you look indecisive, right?
Yeah.
If you don't
Well,
have, and you know what? I'm not even going to say that because you said in the beginning, preseason, you said that a lot of coaches will play multiple quarterbacks the first couple of weeks to see where they're at.
yeah.
If I'm looking back at our season and I say, if we start with Jacobian out the gate, could some of those games went differently? That's what you get in your head, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This person said, I don't think Langford plays good against good teams besides JSU. That doesn't even make any sense unless you're saying JSU is not that good of a team. Yeah, Langford should have been their starter. I don't understand why Maynard didn't make that call from the beginning. And can we talk a little bit about UAPB and Prairie View? Because Prairie View, boy, I don't even know where them folks are.
Listen, Prairie View is eliminated. They have 3 losses? They're eliminated. Didn't you just show them near the bottom? You said Grambling at the bottom, and then where was Prairie View? Were they next to the bottom?
No, they were still above Grambling because Prairie View.
Yeah, I said Grambling was at the bottom, and then who was ahead of Grambling?
Yeah, Prairie View, basically.
Yeah, Prairie View's eliminated. They've got 3 West losses? How many losses?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think about Prairie View and their coaching? I think UAPB is actually better than what people are giving credit for. That's what I think.
Well, he made a good decision in bringing in Tony Hall. That was a good move.
I'm not being messy. I want to know Mr. Ford's thoughts on Prairie View and what their outlook is. I mean, at this point, you could still.
Listen. Okay, let me say this again. And you and I have talked about this. Prairie View spends more money than any other HBCU on athletics. They spend $19 million on athletics. So for them not to be dominating the SWAC, they're underachieving. Okay. So here's the thing. The key word is
Uh,
underachieving. How long are the faithful out at Prairie View going to put up with it? Because they're underachieving. I thought after last year, they had 2 games in Tallahassee. They looked, the defense looked horrible in Tallahassee for those 2 games. I thought, sure, he would go out and get a defensive coordinator. I've said it to Doc on his show, and Doc told me, no, they didn't need a defense coordinator, which I totally disagree. From what I saw, they needed a defense coordinator. Okay. So he didn't make a move at all on the staff. He didn't upgrade nothing. He stood pat. And so, listen, they're underachieving. So now it's on the administration to decide whether or not they want to stay mediocre or below, or do they want to make a change to get ready to be a SWAC champion and to compete in the Celebration Bowl. That's up to the administration.
I feel like I don't feel like a change is going to benefit Prairie View. You see what I'm saying when you like switch because you think that it's going to change something? I don't feel like some of these folks that are requesting or what they're asking for, it's not going to yield different results, right? You just need to help with recruiting. Bringing
Well,
in so for HBCUs, one of the highlights of HBCUs that they use for recruiting is the culture. Some of these folks done gotten away from culture. North Carolina A&T, and they done had some issues with recruiting. So who's getting Teddy Keaton next year?
whoa, that's a good question. That's a good question.
Alabama A&M?
Well, we got to see because right now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe that Alabama A&M wins this year's um, Magic City Classic, and like you posed earlier, the question you posed earlier is a good question. Will that be enough to save Maynard's job? That's gonna be a big
I
question.
I feel like a win over FAMU and a win over Alabama State, they should extend his job for at least another year. Give him one more year. He got a really strong offensive line. I don't know. Does he have Langford for another year?
I don't know. I've seen Langford for 3 years now. I saw 3 years. So we just need to look at the roster and see what do they have him listed as. As you know, Blue is on there. Blue is this Langford's last year, or does he have another year?
That is not enough. He said even if he beats FAMU and Alabama State, that is not enough, which is absolutely insane and crazy because for the last 2 years where Dion was at the helm, you knew what nobody was winning. You knew it was Jackson State and nobody else, right?
Right.
Then FAMU had their year. You knew it was nobody else's year. You knew it was FAMU. This is the first year where it's like, okay, Dion's been gone for 2 years. The FAMU coach exited. This is our chance. But, you know, and they over here talking about it's not enough.
Well, Mr. Mona, I'm telling you, from the people I've talked to up here,
Lord,
that,
please don't
that-
go get Ed Reed or anybody else from out of
well,
these
I'm just
celebrity
saying that
groups.
from the people that I talked to up here that are Alabama A&M people, they want to change. Now, listen, I'm a Cornell Manor fan. I am. Okay. But like you say, talking to these people up here on Cascade Road, they want to change. Oh, Blue says he's a junior.
Who said he can come back?
Yeah, said he's a junior.
Man, if I was at Alabama A&M and I see how stout that offensive line is, and I see Langford, and I'd be like, look, you need to stick with Langford and give him a 1-year extension. That offensive line is stout. They was giving Jackson State problems, okay? They said Langford is 47 years old. Stop it, Zorda.
Oh boy.
It's up in the air. Anyone can win. No, Miss Mary, it ain't up in the air for these snakes. The snakes that ain't up in the air. That ain't up in the air. That is not up for discussion. They said that they bet Bethune-Cookman wishes they hired Ed Reed. I don't feel like Ed Reed had the mental
Yeah,
capacity
I
or the
don't either.
intellect to handle some of the issues that Bethune-Cookman faced and
No.
is currently facing. Like, I don't feel like he has the mental capacity to handle that. I don't even know if they have dorm rooms to go back to. So I think it's more than just that they're dealing with more than just play football. Y'all be wanting folks to play football, win, make sure all the students have their financial aid, make sure that they have their housing, make sure that they have facilities, and they're literally battling hundreds of things that we don't know about and some of the things that we found out about, and they're still dealing with that. Okay, I want to get into this. It's been our bye week, but Mr. Ford, I want to get into this FAMU versus Jackson State game.
Oh yeah.
This is the proverbial
Championship game.
Yeah.
It's the biggest. It's the biggest HBCU game of the year. I believe it'll be 50,000 plus for this game.
I feel like FAMU travels like that. I really don't.
You said what?
I don't think they're going to travel.
Listen, I'm gonna stick with what I said. I think they have 50,000 for that game next week, and it's a night game.
So they don't have they have a flip card up here, so I can pull that up. But dang, I was hoping. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can get this so y'all can look at it with me, which is the it's like the flip card of Jackson State offense, Jackson State defense. We could take a look at it.
Wait a minute. Somebody said, wait a minute. Is the kickoff at 2:30 or is it 7?
It says 2:30 because they switched it to.
Oh no, it won't be. No, I'm sorry. No, it won't be 50,000. No. Oh, okay. I thought it was a 7 o'clock game.
It was, but then they pulled it. Remember? They pulled the game.
Oh.
To ESPNU. Yeah.
No.
Dang, that's messed up.
Okay, so if it's 2:30 your time, it'll be 3:30 our time.
Hey, Uncle Willie.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Ford.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I agree with Mr. Ford. I believe it's going to be close to 50,000 in the stadium. I'm not going to say that FAMU is going to bring 10 or 15,000. I just believe it's going to be 50,000 people want to see that game, see that matchup.
Well, you know what? I hate that they moved that time. I wish it was still a night game. That needs to be a night game.
Just no, they didn't. What time the game?
Yeah, because it's previewing on 2:30 p.m. because it's previewing on ESPN.
Oh man,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's just like today. I didn't understand what I thought. Grambling and Alcorn should have been a night game. That should have been a night game.
Dion should have never started that bull crap. You get more people
what
at
you
night.
blaming Dion for?
Because remember he said that he wanted all them 1 and 2 o'clock starts.
Yeah.
It's not because
you're always gonna get your bigger crowd, your larger crowd, because see, you have to look at we in a place where people work,
Right. That's right. Yeah.
and, and there's people that work and they do different things. Some people even go worship on Saturdays. And after 5 o'clock, everything is shut down. People are ready to unwind and ready to do what they want to do. You get more people. That's common sense. I'm
Well,
sorry.
they
I'm
said
sorry.
FAMU didn't even show up to Alabama State game, and that's way closer than JSU.
Man, now I don't know. I take
Wait
that
a
back.
minute.
Now
Wait,
I
wait,
thought it was
wait,
gonna
wait.
be a
They
nice.
set a record. They had what, 33 or 34,000 at when last week when FAMU and Jackson State played, it was 34,000.
Wow, that was a record.
Yeah,
It
they
was
broke the previous record was Dion's second year. They played Alabama State for Alabama State's homecoming. It was like
Yeah.
32,000. Okay, last week I think they did 33 or 34,000.
Oh, you talking about that Texas Southern?
No, I'm
Wow.
saying in Montgomery. This was in Montgomery.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, this was the last week Florida A&M played Alabama State for their homecoming. I think that game drew 33 or 34,000.
Hmm. Hmm.
so,
Hmm.
and that was homecoming too.
That
Yeah,
was
that was
homecoming.
homecoming.
Yeah, they homecoming.
Last week. So I got the this is basically the flip card for FAMU. So it's basically placing Florida A&M's offense versus Jackson State's defense, and we're just gonna go through it real quick. Jackson State is 4-2 and 2-0 in the SWAC, and then of course Florida A&M is 3-2 overall and 1-0 in the SWAC. Coach T.C. Taylor is currently 11-6 for his second season. That's not a bad record. 11-6 versus Coach Colsey, who's 3-2. And of course, the last games that were played were Alabama State for the Florida A&M Rattlers, and then Alabama A&M. Of course, we defeated them 45-38, the Jackson State Tigers. So I'm gonna go ahead and read out the offense. And for Florida A&M offense, we have Daniel Richardson, and then his backup is Junior Meritovich. Interesting enough, Bo Somerset is RB1 and Kelvin Dean is backup. Acion Cobb is at the X for wide receiver Marquez Bell. There's a lot of graduates, a lot of seasoned players. Jalen Ward and Quan Lee, Jamari Gassett and Golden Lawrence, Carter Johnson, Jeremiah Pruitt, Jalen Goss is at the left tackle, Jonathan Fishkin. The left guard is Ashton Grable, and
Right.
his backup is Janique Ogunlade. I hope I said that right. The center is Cesar Reyes. I thought this center was TJ. They switched him out.
Well, he goes center and then he'll go guard too. TJ's been. I like TJ at the center because to me they're more aggressive with TJ at the center.
Well, right now they have Cesar Reyes as center.
Yeah, he's the transfer from South Florida.
Oh, okay. Tommy Bridgewater is his backup. TJ Lee, they got him at the right guard.
Right.
And Mike Marshall, and then they have at the right tackle Charles Davis and Nathan Gates. So I'm gonna read the Jackson State's defense, and then I'm gonna ask you guys a couple of questions, or if people want to ask questions in the chat regarding scenarios or situations dealing with Florida A&M's offense versus Jackson State's defense. All right, on our defensive side, we have Wolf, Allen Walker, or Philip Webb. And then, of course, our defensive line, we have True Thompson, and his backup is Kazarius Bowie. Jeremiah Williams, and his backup is Demania Lacey. Joshua Nobles, and his backup is John Brown Jr. Ashton Taylor, and his backup is David Jones Jr. Reed Pulliam, that's the middle linebacker. and his backup is Jaden Ward. At the nickel, we got Robert McDaniel and then Shamar Hawkins. Day Bright is CB1 and his backup is Nyreek Sharp. Isaias Guthrie is free safety and his backup is Anthony Petty, which Anthony Petty last year he played a lot of nickel. And so he's playing free safety. And then strong safety, we got Cameron Smith and BJ Washington is his backup. And then CB1, we have K5. Well, it's K1, and his backup is KJ Chisholm. So your thoughts on that lineup, Uncle Willie and Mr. Ford? Uncle Willie, you go first.
Well, I still I hate this, but you know, K1, he needs to. That's the guy wearing number 1, right?
They like
On the cornerback. The cornerback.
No, we're just going to
Wiggins.
talk about the secondary.
Well, yeah, Wiggins. I don't think he's. I think he need to get a wake up call, or you know, because he's not being aggressive. He's not making plays on the ball. He's avoiding contact. He's not.
He had an interception this year.
A clock is right twice a day. I'm telling you
so
how
we're
it plays.
talking about matchups. Like, how do you feel about?
I think Day would be a better if they start Day and the other guy and just let Wiggins come in.
He's
They need to replace. They need to replace number 1. I think that's the weakest link, in my opinion. They're gonna expose Florida State offense. They're gonna expose that middle school size quarterback with the Pop Warner arm. It's not. I don't.
So if you're saying that the secondary needs work, how?
I said that cornerback, that particular cornerback at number 5, they need a wake up call because they're not playing aggressive enough. They're not making plays on the ball. The ball hanging in the air 3 seconds, and you a foot from the ball, you're not making the play. You trying to see if the receiver's going to catch it where you can make a hit. All that bullshit. I'll sit his ass on the bench. Tell him to get out my shit. I'm just saying. I just know what I see, and people in the chat they'll tell you. I'm talking football now. He did that four weeks in a row. That's the weakest link on your team. That's why they're getting a lot of plays, a lot of penalties at the inopportune time. A lot of big plays are given up by number 1. Go back and watch the footage. You want me to tell you how it is? I'm gonna tell you how it is.
Mr. Ford, what do you think about FAMU's wide receivers?
Oh, they're explosive. They're explosive. The number 1 receiver is that Gassett guy that you called out. But that Quan Lee and that other kid you called out. And they have 2 tight ends that are very good pass catchers. But what this game is going to come down to is the strategy of this Joe Henry, who's the offensive coordinator, going against Coach Quinn. They're going to match up. Because now those names that you called out, that's a lot of talent. That's a lot of talent on the field. But it's how that talent is going to be organized and who makes the least amount of mistakes. Because now with Joe tries to come out and establish the run. Okay? Now, here's the thing. To me, if he doesn't open it up in the first half, FAM will probably get behind in the first half. Because with the way TC's calling it right now, TC's trying to put points on the board in the first half. I think at one time he was trying to establish the run. He's trying to score. That's what he's trying to do now. He's trying to score. And he's learned his lesson. I think that Grambling game was a big lesson for him. But those names that you called out, there's a lot of talent you just called out when you called out that offense and that defense. But my thing is the strategy that's going to be employed by Coach Quinn and the strategy that's going to be employed by Coach Joseph Henry. That's going to be a chess match.
Okay, so here's the thing that I've noticed watching FAMU's offense. I'm going to pull this down for a second and talk about it a little bit, and then we'll pull it up and we're going to do the flip side. So we'll be doing Jackson State's offense and FAMU's defense. So one thing that I've noticed offensively that FAMU does, they turn it up a notch in the second half.
Right. That's correct. That's
By
right.
the time that the defense is gassed, strategically, they gas the defense, turn it up in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And this is going to be an issue if it's not, that offense is not, I'm not going to say they don't need fast pace, but the last game that we had, Jackson State only had the ball for 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and they scored 21 points in the first quarter. And then the second quarter, they had the ball all of 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and they scored like 17 points. The offense was off the field so quickly that the defense was gassed. By the time fourth quarter came around, gassed. That can be a dangerous matchup against a team that historically, against Norfolk State, against South Carolina State, against Alabama State, has shown that they do a fourth quarter run. All right. So what are your thoughts and strategies for that? I know you guys said that that they need to fix it, but how are you going to fix that? So how are you going to fix not having the defense on the field as much? Of course, you have to employ the run game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Substitute more players, like Mr. Ford said last week. Put in different packaging. Just that simple.
Blue says that Chisholm is the highest graded cornerback in the SWAC right now, and Day is number 3. It says the gas excuse is overrated for defense. It's literally not overrated if you can literally see more holding calls, more penalties. Like in the fourth quarter, like you can literally see that the defense is not keeping up. Like that's not, how is it overrated when the defense was on the field for 40 minutes versus the offense being on there for 20 minutes?
Well, Ed, it depends on the depth of the team. You can't just say that. If a defense is only rotating 15 players in because of injuries or they just don't have players ready, then they can be gassed. But Jackson State have an opportunity. I mean, Jackson State is at an advantage. They can rotate in 20 players, 22 players. Like Mr. Ford was saying, you can put in different packages and keep the pressure on them every down. Run blitz, zone blitz. I mean, you have to I'll put pressure on I'll put it on them every down. Every down they seeing a blitz. Every down. Every single down they seeing a blitz. And I play all those players. You got about 20 players over there that can play.
Yeah, without a doubt. Jackson has the best personnel in HBCU football.
I need to see them rotating it out then. No Diddy.
You got to have coaches that want to that have the imagination to do it.
You got to put those packages together. They got to be organized.
So when you say when you said be more organized, so that's basically like I'm gonna call out 4, 7, and 9, and these particular defensive players know that they need to be on the field. Like I feel like Coach Quinn switches it up a lot. I didn't see the dancing that he was doing against some of the teams earlier in the season. I didn't see that in the last game. I would like to see that. So basically, the defense starts doing a little dance on the line right before the ball is snapped. I would love to see that. Um Jay, is that you doing all those, or is that my son Braxton messing? Yeah.
Also, Ed, the second part of his question was, do offenses not get gas? Well, offenses have the advantage. Defense is chasing the offense. The offense know
Right.
what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And then they can, it's Ed, it sounds like you hadn't played football. Tell me you hadn't played football without telling me. It's a redundant question.
All right, so
Hey,
let's
Miss
go ahead.
Whitley.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Jackson State offense, Florida A&M defense. Mind you, both of them are coming off of a bye week. So you've literally had 2 weeks to rest. That has to be Braxton then. Braxton's over there playing. Lord have mercy. All right, let me read these players. Braxton, come here now. Close it. Close that laptop and stop playing with me.
Zardan, you say how would we contain the little rascal at quarterback? They gonna pound him. They gonna Peter roll him. They gonna run through that line and they gonna pound him and knock him out the game. And they probably knock the second string guy out the game. They gonna set a statement. Watch and see.
Wait, who
He
is
gonna probably, if you don't throw about 3 picks before he get knocked out the game. That's how we gonna contain him. You gonna see. You be one of the 60,000 to buy the ticket. You come up in there and see it.
they going to Pound Town, Uncle Willie? No Diddy.
They're gonna Peter roll him. They're gonna Peter roll that whole line. He ain't gonna be able to throw up over those guys. Number 0 and number 2, they're gonna have a field day. They probably have about 7 tackles apiece.
He was quick. Do you think he's quick?
Okay. No, he ain't that quick. He's quick against Cyrus. Okay. I'm not even gonna do what Zoe and them do. I'm not gonna put no curse on the team, but believe me, okay. He's a middle school size quarterback with a Pop Warner arm, and he's gonna get exposed. Them Tigers gonna look like they a pro team against them.
McDaniel's gonna eat. Noble's gonna eat. Tiger brunch.
You gonna run through that line just like you ever seen a bulldozer tear down anything? That's what
Yeah,
that JSU line gonna do to them garden snake.
all right, let me read this defense out. Okay, at defensive end, we have Davion Westmoreland on Florida A&M defense. Latari Kinsler is backing him up. Defensive tackle, we got James Ash and Nick Demeters. I think I said that right. Nose guard, Cameron Donald and Clyde Pender. Fang, Alan Smith Jr. and James Gardner. Eric Horn, Nayron Jenkins, Jerome Nichols, Jaron Fox. These are a lot of this middle linebacker. These sound like a lot of new.
Horn is the best player out that linebacker core. He's a transfer from Iowa State. He's the best player.
Jamil Sanders and Braylon Oliver. You said Eric Horn?
Yeah, he's the middle. I think he's middle linebacker or linebacker, but he's
They
the
got
best.
Jerome Nichols and Jaron Fox on here as a middle linebacker, but I mean, I guess obviously you can just kind of like rotate it. Jamil Sanders and Braylon Oliver, Corey Collier and Chase Lloyd, DeCorian Wilson, Jordan Cumberbatch, TJ Huggins, Xavier Battle, Kendall Bowler, Michael Apong. Wow.
Bowler's the best player in that secondary. That Wilson kid can play. Collier can play. That secondary are ball hawks. They're ball hawk type kind of guys. They're always looking for an interception.
So that's my thing. He does pass a lot, and our secondary has been suspect. Front seven needs to get to the QB period. You can't have like Alabama A&M. The offensive line was keeping our defensive ends from getting to the quarterback. Like in this particular game versus FAMU, it is paramount. It's like essential that our defensive ends and our linebackers get to the quarterback. But also, you can't over pursue, right? Because sometimes we would see our front seven over pursuing, and they leave the middle gap in between where the safeties and corners are and where the linebackers are because they're blitzing. And you leave that middle section open, and it was like, that's FAMU's lane right there, right? He's just taking all of those little middle dink and dunks right in through there. So not over pursuing. I would say a 4-3 type of deal right there. A 4-3. I don't never maybe a 5-2. Okay, let me scroll down. Yeah, but let me go over Jackson State's offense. Of course, at the left tackle, we have Kirk Ford Jr., Mason Barton. Left guard, we have DeAndre Towns Blue, and they have Mason Barton again. Almitra Smith Jr. and Brian Williams Jr. Evan Henry at right guard.
You're better
Xavier
when
Davis.
Henry's at the center. The offensive line is better when he's at the center.
And you know what? We're just gonna have to see that because Coach TC did say at the press conference that against Alabama A&M they had some shakeups in the offensive line, right? I mean, they still held up pretty good, but they had some shakeups. I'm not sure of the status of Evan Henry for this particular game. Hopefully, he's healed up and ready to go. Quavion Davis at right tackle or Cameron James. Tight end. Of course, we need our tight ends, right? So we got Marvin Landy and Sebastian St. Louis. Jonas Fortillion. Richard Mays Jr., Isaiah Spencer, and Janalian Dupree. Braxton, please, for the love of God, lay down.
Where is Rico Powers? Is he still injured?
Yes, lay down.
He's okay.
Yes, he is. Of course, we know Isaiah Spencer, Janalian Dupree, Jonas Fortillion, Richard May, like our Taquan Henderson, Jamil Gardner, like our wide receiver room has really stepped to the plate since Rico and Fabian were out for their games or whatever. They really stepped to the plate, and our wide receivers, you just got to come down with the ball.
Well, that kid Fortillion is going to be a matchup nightmare. Because I'm looking for him to have a really big game next Saturday. He's going to have a big game.
J.D. Martin and Travis Terrell Jr. and then Jacobian Morgan and Cameron McCoy. All right. So let's talk about this Jackson State offense versus this Florida A&M defense. Willie, what do you think?
I hadn't seen too much of. I hadn't really seen Florida A&M's defense to really make a true assessment. But I think Jackson State offense is more high powered. Is powered up enough. Is more balanced. The running attack with three running backs, but I will put Terrell in the slot. I will work that in, and I just think they just overpower. Well, what people were saying in the comments, they can't stop anything. It should be a field day. I want to see that defense just dominate. I just want to see that defense dominate that little guy. I can see it coming. It's not going to be pretty, but I don't think TC he have too many weapons. He has a strong running game, And like that Fertillion guy, that guy gonna play on Sundays, man. That guy makes some catches. I mean, that guy got hands like Jerry Rice. I hadn't seen nobody like since Jerry Rice and Randy Moss with hands like that. That guy catch anything. If he see it, he gonna catch it.
Mr. Ford, what do you think about FAMU's defense versus Jackson State offense?
Well, I think that the advantage should go to Jackson State right now. TC's play calling since that Grambling game has gotten so much better. And the thing I really like about him now is that instead of trying, like I said earlier, instead of trying to run the ball, he's quick striking people. And one thing about Florida A&M's defense, especially in the first half, they're very slow to make adjustments. Now, when they go in at halftime, they do make a few adjustments. But there are some people you called out on FAMU's defensive line. I think that Jackson State's offensive line will have the advantage, especially running against them. Because one of them kids you called out, Kinsler, that kid been rolled up ever since that Norfolk game. He been blocked all over the place.
Wow.
Okay, they are the pass rush at Florida A&M. That's why I told you I was totally wrong when I said that General Hunt would not be missed and that Dunn kid would not be missed. They have not had the pass rush that they had last year. And with this offensive line that Jackson has, I really believe that FAM will not be able to stop that run. I don't think they're going to be able to stop that run.
So for me, I think it's all about like not getting penalties, utilizing the run game. If we're able to utilize that run game to stretch out our time of possession, and kind of mix and match with that fast-paced offense. So do one drive where you're scoring really fast and then the defense makes a stop, and then the next drive that you have, you're running the ball. I just want to see that mix and match.
Well, I'm gonna say what I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh no, you can go. I'm reading the comments. They said
I'm gonna say what I said last week. Their goal, they should strive to score 60 points so they won't lose focus, because the offense is designed to score. See, I hate to bring up other people, I'm not gonna make no names, but some of those top teams in the SEC, what they'll do if they're blowing out a team, let's say they scoring 27 points on a team, and the team only score like 3 points. When they bring their second team in, that second team have a job of scoring like 15 points. When they bring that third team in, that third team job is to score about 10 points. That's how they, end up with 70-some points or whatnot. But you have to keep that. You have to keep them thirsty. You got to keep them hungry. You got to keep your foot on their neck all the time. And that offense is designed to score a lot of points. And the defense stop playing if the offense is full of crap. You can't. You got to do what you're supposed to do. What you say about that, Mr. Ford?
Well, yeah, and see, that's been the problem with Coach Quinn, is that in the second half, his defense gets soft. And he does, like you said, he doesn't dominate. He doesn't control the tempo of the game. Matter of fact, to me, look like in the second half, Jackson's defense gets beat up.
Yeah. Where they be putting a lot of, subs in and stuff instead of, Mr. Ford, I wish they would listen to you and just implement about 3 or 4 different packages, man, where you can play all of the athletes so nobody wouldn't get tired.
Man. With all of that depth they got up there on that front seven, they can run 43, 4-2-5. They can run 6-2. It's so many packages they can run. And it won't be a drop off. And listen, they can keep their defense fresh the whole game. Because they got that kind of personnel. They got that kind of personnel. But that's organization. That's all about organization. You got to put it on the board. You got to put it in their notebooks.
Mr. Ford, I wish I had to listen to a lot of my educators and stayed in education and coach football. I really wish, because man, it's been a slack off since I came through, and then you have these young folks talking about, oh, the old folks need to be replaced, and it's so asinine when I hear that. The very offense that the NFL is running, wasn't that Archie Cooley over at Valley
Yeah.
invented that stacked
Well,
offense?
he
Pretty much
actually
the
got it.
offense they running.
Yeah, he actually got it from a guy at Tennessee State named Cat Coleman, who was the offense
Right.
coordinator for Big John Mary. Cat was a chemistry professor and a graduate of Alcorn. And Cat and Coach Gillum, they would go and teach the people in the NFL. See, the issue is still the same. The issue is that the SWAC's biggest need right now is that we've got to raise the pay of these coaches. Not
I
only the
agree.
head coaches, we got to raise the pay of these coordinators and these position coaches. Because if we're going to see the great football that we thirst for, we got to pay for it. Okay? That's why I'm saying Bubba's in trouble, because Alcorn spends $19 million on athletics, and these are the kind of coaches you got. Southern University spends $18 million on athletics, and these are the kind of coaches that Terrence Graves goes out and get. Listen, I'm telling you, that's why those people are so impatient. They spending $18 and $19 million on football. On sports. And then Southern looks the way they look. Prairie View looks the way they look. It's still the same issue. We have got to attract quality coaching candidates, and you got to pay them. You got to pay them.
Mr. Ford, it's been talk come up again lately. You know what they tried to do back in the late '80s, early '90s. I forget the year. About doing the FBS with a few teams. With about 14 teams where I can recall. But they're gonna have to raise the pay, and I would love to see us. I would love to see us do something like that. But we got to get out of a lot of, like I said, like I was about to say before. The coaches fell off, Mr. Ford. The coaches are they're not innovative. They think they know, but I just
know.
don't
Some
see.
of that play calling that I seen Coach Maynard do the other day, I was like, wow, this is impressive.
Well, he's an old head to these young folks. They think that all the old coaches need to be replaced. And I'm just like, we all in the same school. We're just in the senior class.
Well, it goes back to what I told them last summer when it comes to coaching. Either you can get a retread or you can get a new tire. And what a lot of the SWAC schools like to do, instead of getting a new tire, they like to go and get a retread, because a retread is cheaper. But let me tell you something. Them retreads don't work because they don't last. It's not quality. And so that's what I'm saying. Roscoe Nance told us 30 years ago in the USA Today, he said the SWAC has great players, and we still got great players. But he said one of the things that the SWAC was lacking was offensive innovation. And that's still the problem.
Still the problem.
It's still, and he said that he's dead and gone. And it's what he said is still true. We have
They
got
want to know
to
about, okay, so how you going to fix it?
How do you fix the coaching?
The funding for the coaches. So I don't think, there's quality coaches even at the D2 level, like
well, without a doubt.
The Keaton coach.
You got to
extra funding.
reallocate your priorities. You got to reallocate your priorities.
It's like I keep telling people, you talk about the street committee up here on Cascade. Everybody, the Southern people, are all upset about that staff. But I constantly remind them that Southern's football program was destroyed by that AD. And in order for them to get Southern University's football program back together, they've got to let that AD go. He's got to go. They've got to get a bring in.
Who's got to go?
That AD that's at Southern University. What's his name?
Is he a football guy, Mr. Ford?
He's a basketball guy.
3 years, Mr. Ford.
You're not. No. Listen, Mr. Mona. Listen to me. He destroyed that program. Listen, he destroyed that football program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he ushered Dawson Odoms out the door. Then he brings his frat brother over from Prairie View and gives him all the money. Okay, didn't give the assistants nothing. Okay, now you got Terrence now. Okay, and everybody at Southern is all upset. But I keep trying to tell the Southern people here in Atlanta, it doesn't begin with Terrence now. It begins with that athletic director. He's got to go.
2 years ago, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. Look up his name. What's the AD's name at Southern? What's his name?
I don't know. I'm not
Just look him up. I'll say it. I'll say it.
You have hired him at least 3 or 4 times in the past 6 to 8 months.
That's it. You're right. Banks. His name is Banks. That's his name. Roman Banks, I think it is. He's got to go. And let me tell you something. All of the people that are up here from Southern, they are just wishing they could just go back to the Dawson Odoms era. You know, they got it. They ran him out. Now everybody's missing him, especially
the one that's at Norfolk State.
Yes, they wish they had him back so bad because it's been nothing. It's been horrible at Southern since Dawson Odoms left that school.
Wow.
Please don't go. Please don't go.
Mr. Ford, why do our people snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat every time?
Well, like I said, we're impatient people. We're impatient. I'm telling you, Mr. Mona's saying that we got to give these coaches all of this time. That's not certain schools.
Well, certain schools.
Wait, Mr. Mona, let me say this. See, when you take a Jackson State, you take a Florida A&M, a Grambling, a Southern, North Carolina A&T. Listen, let me tell you something. No, not Texas Southern. When you come to those schools, your resume must say that you're a champion because you can't go to those schools practicing to become a good coach. You got to come in as a champion. Because see, let me tell you something. Them schools I just called out, the expectation is the same thing as Alabama. Now, Alabama, the only difference is when you get to Alabama, they tell you they don't want no excuses, but they give you a number. And they say, whatever you need, call this number. If you need a bulldozer, call this number. If you want an elephant, call this number. But at the end of the year, we want championship. And that's the same way they are at FAM, Jackson, Grambling, Southern,
they ain't giving out no numbers.
But wait. No, they're not going to give you a number, but they want a championship. Because you got to understand that's in their DNA.
Yeah.
Jackson for years was champion. Grambling for years was champion. Florida A&M for years was champion. North Carolina A&T has championship in that pedigree.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, people have not forgotten that. There are people who are like me. I saw Jake Gaither. I saw Eddie Robinson. Okay. I saw Coach Hill when he was at Jackson. I saw W.C. Gordon. Okay. And there are a lot of people like me.
Wow. So, Mr. Ford, I seen a lot of the same people, not all the people that you seen, but I seen a lot of the same people, and I seen especially Eddie Robinson. I seen them several times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this is that's why I would love to see something like that happen into a HBCU super conference.
Playing.
But I would love to see those days come back. Man, we used to send a lot of people to the NFL.
Let me tell you, we getting ready to get better athletes now because what they've done The NCAA just made a ruling last week that they don't even know going to benefit HBCUs. And the ruling is they have cut the window down on the transfer portal down to 30 days. What does that mean? That means that you're going to have a lot of athletes on the FBS level who want to transfer. And if they don't hear from a major university in 3 to 4 days, they're going to be forced to come back and play for these HBCUs. You're going to see more talent. And I keep telling y'all over and over, personnel is not the problem in HBCU football. The problem is we need better and more high-level coaches. We need better ADs. Like I said today, and I was watching the game with some people today, I told them, Grambling lost $300,000 to $400,000 today by playing that game as a day game instead of playing that game as a night game. Why would you bring Alcorn in at 3 o'clock in the day when you know that they will have more people to make that trip to Grambling at night? Just like they did when they played Jackson. You had a packed house almost when Jackson came to Grambling because it was a night game. And I'm
That's
saying
how
it
it
again.
always been, man.
Listen,
That's
I'm
how
going to
it
say it
always been.
again. The biggest problem in the SWAC is not personnel. We got the kids. We got the player. We need high-level coaching. We need better ADs. We need better faculty reps. We need presidents who care about the athletic program. That's
Yeah.
what we need. And I'm telling you, we getting ready to get more. Like y'all be talking about that, which I don't even believe in, because I tell everybody all the time, y'all be hollering about that 3, 4, and 5 star. Remember when Patrick Mahomes came out of high school, Mr. Mona, you know how many stars he had?
3.
He had 2. Okay, you know that wide receiver that's down at the Miami Dolphins, the one they called Cheetah. What's his name?
Tyreek Hill.
Okay, you know how many stars he had?
3.
He had none.
Yeah, he didn't have no style.
Oh,
He had
dang.
no stars. But I'm trying to tell you, with that new ruling, we gonna get bigger and better FBS transfers to the HBCU.
So
You'll
live.
see it. We getting ready to get them. They're gonna
Dang.
be forced to come back home.
See, what people don't understand is when you got those, not every FBS school, I don't be wanting to call different names, but it's certain schools. Man, the damn SEC had 9 people in the top 10. They had 9 teams in the top 10. Okay, but I'm just saying, in those schools, this is how it go. They're gonna recruit that kid from college. I mean, from high school. He's gonna probably get a red shirt unless he's just super like that number 2 for Alabama. That kid's super. But they're gonna get a red shirt. They're gonna buff them up to get bigger because they're not big enough. Then they're gonna sit on the bench. They probably get them in the game 1, 2. And then by their junior and senior year, they be ready to play. See, we don't do that type of training here. We don't have no nutritionists. We don't have nobody that's working with them on the off season, keeping them in shape, keeping them buffed up, and they come out there looking like little gazelle. I'm just
Southern
saying.
won.
Oh, Southern one?
Yeah, overtime.
Okay.
Wow.
Man, what?
Texas Southern had that game.
They
They were
just had
leading
us up
14 to nothing at
22,
half, right? Wasn't they?
22,
Yeah,
19.
but they had went up. They had went up something like 17-12, I believe. Something like that before I turned on over to you all. And they had the ball with like 3 minutes and 3.5 minutes left in the game. And they was inside their territory. I don't see how they lost that game.
Overtime field goal. Hey, Brother Bakari.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Nothing. We're just chopping it up about we talked a little bit about FAMU versus Jackson State. And we just talking football.
Yeah. I watched some good games today. Alcorn gonna be a problem in the SWAC. But I'm gonna tell you the worst thing I ever seen in my life for is college football. Norfolk State should be ashamed of themselves letting that dude constantly coach. That is horrible. That's they got middle school offense. It is pathetic.
Are you talking about Odoms?
Whoever used to coach Southern, now he coaches Norfolk State. It's embarrassing. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm telling you right now. If a parent and a son is looking at going to an HBCU and see Norfolk State play, ain't nowhere in the hell they gonna go. And the only reason I watch them so much is because one of my best friends is a Norfolk State alum, and we watch and we say the same thing every week. Why haven't they fired this guy yet? I said, dude, you need to put in the email. You need to send the email. It's embarrassing. You can clearly see. I watched Tennessee State. I watched Alcorn. Of course, I've watched Jackson State. I've watched FAMU. You can look and tell the teams that's being coached.
They're gonna make my eyelashes fall off because y'all are clowning tonight.
You can see the teams that being coached. Then you can see somebody on the sideline. Hell, I got a job.
Over here talk about you can see who's being coached. Jackson State better be ready for that FAMU game. That's the game of the year, brother Bakari.
Yeah, it is. That's gonna be it's gonna be a good game. I'm picking Jackson State by 10 or more. Between 10 and 13. I'm picking Jackson State.
Brother Bakari, you said something about the coaches sitting on the sideline. I say that about the coaches and the recruiters. You know, have you guys watched this guy AJ Green and with his platform? How he go
Nah.
out, man, y'all missing a lot of stuff. He go out and he scout these players. He go out and show the whole game, the high school games and stuff. And there's a lot of players that's not even signed, that's not even star players, just like you were talking about Tyreek Hill. There's linemen, there's linebackers, there's running backs, receivers. But one of his top players is the guy that is that freshman, number 2 at Alabama. And as people said 3 years ago when Prime was there, and when Prime was leaving, there was some people that said in your particular chat, Timona, that they should look into to contacting AJ Green, because he goes all over the country. Y'all check him out. He's on YouTube. He goes all over the country premiering players from both sides of whoever they playing on the other team. And there's a lot of players out there. There's a lot of players out there that you can capitalize on, take advantage of. Where did that punter come from, though? I'm curious. Where did our punter come from?
Delaware State. We actually
Where's his hometown?
Delaware State has some really good players that came out of that program. Asaias Guthrie came from there.
Delaware.
Savion Wilkerson came from there too.
Delaware. I didn't think black folks lived in Delaware in Maine. Man, you know, I drove trucks for like 30 years. I went up there. I
black
got
folks in Delaware.
Yeah, I got stuck. Look at Brother Carr. I got stuck up there one Friday. I had picked up a load, but I was ready to bring that load back down to Jacksonville, and I wanted some fish. And I just so happened to pull over. You know, when you ride through Delaware, the interstate goes into a town square, and you turn around and come back. The interstate. But anyway, when I went out through there, man, I wanted to stop and get some fish, and I stopped at some low community. And I seen all those black folks. I was surprised. I really was surprised to see black folks that far.
That's the home of Harriet Tubman.
Okay. I probably did read that. I probably read that.
Yeah, Delaware. But
I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, just to finish up, Florida A&M special teams and Jackson State special teams, because I really think that the two teams actually have good special teams, like if we're talking about the top 2 special teams in the SWAC, I would venture to say Florida A&M and Jackson State is probably at the top, right? With Jackson State being number 1. Because we have our kicker, Gerardo Baeza. The backup is Donovan Warren. And then our punter is Matt Knoll. FCS, he's on the FCS watch list for punter of the year. Donovan Warren is the backup. And then our kick return and punt return is Travis Terrell Jr. And then we have Janalian Dupree and Day Bright. And then on Florida A&M side, we have Cameron Gillis, Gunnar Trout as the kicker, and then also as the punters, Gunnar Trout and Andrew Tisher, and then kick returner is Goldie Lawrence, Bo Somerset, and Jamari Gassett. This is interesting. Which one do you think has the better special teams?
Jackson State.
Right?
Jackson State, Terrell give us, Terrell and our punter give us the edge.
So I do think that, realistically speaking, I do think that FAMU is going to strategically take away our kick return, right? Or punt return. They're going to take that. They're going to eliminate that at all costs, right? They're not going to kick to Travis Terrell or Janalian Dupree or David Wright.
Man,
but that'll help Jackson State, I believe, because they're gonna be kicking short.
Well, wait a minute, brother McCarry. That's what Grambling done. They stopped kicking to him. Is that the team? No, it wasn't. It was Texas Southern. That stopped kicking to him. The team that came back.
Alabama A&M last week, Alabama A&M stopped kicking toward. Well,
that was Alabama A&M. I'm sorry, it was too purple.
Terrell returned it all the way back for a touchdown, and then for the rest of the game,
they onside kicked it.
Not onside, but basically trying to kick it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, if Jackson have to capitalize on that, Brother Terrell, that's what we were saying. They need to continue to try to score. After that boy took that ball back that one time, they stopped kicking. I ain't never seen that. You will see a team do it, not do it 1 or 2 times, but they did it like 4 or 5 times in a row. They just wouldn't kick it to him. I don't even think they tried to punt it to him. They punt the ball out of bounds or something. It was just a total domination.
But I think talent-wise, Jackson State is head and shoulders above that. And I've watched FAMU play. I think talent-wise at the running back position, and FAMU can't stop the run. At the quarterback position, our receivers. Now, and that's me looking through my Jackson State glasses, but I do talent-wise. You look and see Jackson State has the most talent. I think it's going to come down to coaching again. I don't think we can continue to give up those passes in the flat like we was doing against Alabama A&M, and I'm quite sure that they worked on that.
Ooh, boy, Alabama A&M's wide receivers were wide open, uncontested, and they were
playing like 10 yards off.
Their hands were literally like, I don't know if they had baby oil on them. No diddy. They just couldn't. Like, it was non-contested throws. There was one right by the end zone. The wide receiver just dropped the ball, and it must have been like an angel that just said, "Get that out your hand," because it literally there was nobody within there wasn't even anybody within 3 feet of that particular receiver, and that would have definitely been a touchdown. So, and that's one of the things that Daniel Richardson loves to do, right? He loves to do the dink and dunks in the middle of the field. Damn, you all right?
And if we
What that
somehow get a big lead, we can't don't go. You can't go to the bag ups until the game is over. You have to go ahead
Right,
and you have to go ahead and kill your opponent.
right.
You have to go ahead and kill them.
Just don't want them to over pursue like we did. What team was that? Was Texas Southern? We was over pursuing. We were blitzing.
Oh yeah,
we
they
were
yeah.
blitzing, and the quarterback was just like, "Oh, okay, let me go ahead and throw this right here in the middle." Wasn't a linebacker, a nickelback in sight.
They was taking the wrong angles.
Well, we
Linebackers,
don't.
safety was taking the wrong angles on the blitz. I seen that it happened throughout the game, and they have to hesitate
It
and try to
happened
come
for
back.
multiple games, though. That's the thing. And I'm sure that the coaches have corrected it, right? Because you don't want to over pursue. So basically, there's nothing wrong with lining up 7 and getting ready to make the quarterback think that you're going to blitz, right? And then you only have McDaniels and Webb coming off the edge to get to the quarterback, and then the linebackers falling back or fall
Yeah, that's
back.
what they call a
You're in the
zone
middle.
blitz.
So you got a couple of folks that are blitzing, and then you got a couple of folks that's gonna fall back to get that intermediate area, because that's like Daniel Richardson's favorite spot right there.
Yeah, that's a zone blitz. That's what they call a zone blitz. I blitz every down though. They have the personnel to
You gonna
put in
blitz
several
every
packages.
down? You doing
Yeah,
2022 defense and 2021 defense?
Jackson State have the talent to play 20 players and blitz every down. Every single down. Now, we are not just talking. Me and Mr. Ford not just talking. We're telling you. They could put in about 3-4 packages and they can blitz every down. Zone blitz, running blitz, safety blitz. They can blitz corner blitz every down, every single down, every down.
You
And
know,
nobody won't get
blitzing.
tired.
Blitzing is going to expose your safeties and your corner
Well,
back.
you mix in zone blitz, you mix in different type of zone blitz, different type of cover package. Is football can be complicated if you don't know it. I'm a baseball guy. Football is the simplest sport to play, in my opinion. Simplest sport to learn. You have to learn how to play. You have to learn footwork and stuff. You have to get strong. But it's a simple sport to me. It's sports out there that's a little bit more complicated, but it's about the strategies and stuff. And you have a person. Jackson State really have a personnel, Timona. They really have a deep personnel. They can play almost like pros in this conference.
You think
If they,
FAMU is going to run a no huddle offense?
whatever they run is not going to work.
Brother Bakari, you think FAMU going to run a no huddle offense, Mr. Ford?
They run pace. Yeah, they run pace. Yeah. This guy, Joe Henry's more of he's more conservative than they've been in the past. But he'll run some pace. He doesn't run it as much as Willie did, but he'll run some pace.
This is literally for the SWAC. I feel like this is for the SWAC in totality. This game that's coming up right now on next Saturday. This is for we fighting for.
Oh my God!
We fighting for our life.
Yeah.
How you gonna fix it? We fighting for our life, y'all.
Yeah, I think this is for the SWAC East. Who gonna represent the SWAC East?
SWAC, no. Who's gonna represent the SWAC?
I'm gonna be honest with you. After watching Alcorn today, and I ain't saying they better. I'm not. Alcorn ain't no pushover. I'm being honest. I know Grambling got all the credit for the turnovers that they created, but coming into that game, actually Alcorn created more turnovers than Grambling. Alcorn really is not a pushover.
Alcorn.
They are not a pushover. They are not. Alcorn is not a pushover.
Pushover, but I don't think they're like anything to brag home about.
Brother Bakar, I'm finna tell you like I want, like I watching those Alcornites get happy over a 1 point victory. Now, looking at things, looking forward, when Jackson State played Grambling, we was playing, that was just practice for the second team. If you look at the players that's out there, that's pretty much practice for the second team. It's gonna be a different story. When we play Alcorn, we're gonna dominate them just like we do Alcorn. They better hope we don't put 6 on.
I got you. I understand that. I'm not saying Alcorn gonna beat Jackson State. I'm just saying Alcorn is not a pushover. Alcorn defense is physical. Their defense is very physical.
I think they said Malachi Bailey got injured tonight.
I ain't seen nobody get injured. I watched the game the other day. I ain't seen nobody. I didn't see nobody get injured. They have pretty good, and they tried to take the game from Alcorn actually.
I have to see how they match up against Alabama State. Offensively, when I look at their makeup, their work, they've only scored like really big against Edward Waters and Valley. Oh, they scored 38 against Arkansas Pine Bluff, but I feel like that was a game that Arkansas Pine Bluff ended up giving away, right?
No, well, they are more of a defensive team, but I think they're better. I'm just saying, I think this don't look past as
right. Well, I would say don't look past any of these teams in the SWAC, right? So the SWAC West has been all over the place. With 1 minute you think that somebody's going to be the ringleader, and Grambling, after they beat us in that non-conference game, they just were streamlined to, I think they thought they had won the SWAC or something. Like they literally they had already won the SWAC, right, before even playing a conference game. And now here they are. They've lost to Prairie View. They've lost to UAPB.
That's that new generation. We beat the big dogs. Now everybody's supposed to be afraid of us. That's how the new generation think.
Yeah, so Graham has been 0-2 since that game, and those were the 2 most important games.
Grambling won it. Grambling won the Celebration Bowl when they beat Jackson State, I guess. Because it's like they won. They won. They're okay. They beat Jackson State. It's like they're okay. They beat Jackson State.
They deserve their G for the week, for the year. They you remember the coach tried to take their G away from them. They deserve their G just for winning their game, I guess. That's how they play.
And then Maynard said, I got something to say. Now hold up now. Alabama A&M, I think they have a chance to beat FAMU. Towards that's that Black Friday game. I think they have a chance to bust it open.
Ooh. I'm waiting on the 23rd. Oh.
What happened on the 23rd? Who played?
I think we go down to that reservation on the 23rd, right?
Lord have mercy. I'm so scared. I don't know. I just feel like those rival games, they go either way, right?
Most of the time they can go. Well, I don't know if I can say most of the time, but Jackson State is just playing on another level.
We
and I
need to
hope they
get it
don't
back in
digress.
blood. We got some get it back in blood games that
Right.
this one next Saturday. That right
That's the
there
first
is
one.
when we talk about what type. That's that get it back in blood. Not that we haven't been whooping on FAMU's ass historically. We've been whooping up on them. Like when we go from in the last 2 decades, the numbers of times that FAMU has beaten Jackson State versus the number of times that Jackson State is winning that battle. But
We
we
need
need to
some new
win this
boots and
out.
belts.
Yeah, we
We
need
need
some belt to ass, right?
now. We gonna skin them. We gonna make some belts and boots out of them where we can wear down the reservation, and kick that ice.
What kind of belts?
Snake
Snake?
skin belt,
Oh
snake skin
Lord.
belts and boots
What kind of snakes?
with some goat
Rattle,
rattlesnake.
rattlesnake. Hey, but look, I'm gonna get off here. I just hopped on here to speak to y'all. So
Well,
I'll
we'll
holler
It's
at
see
nice
y'all
you
to hear
later.
next.
from you, brother.
We'll see you next Saturday at our celebration, right?
Yeah, you'll see me at the celebration.
All right.
You sure will. All
Snake
right.
skin, the snake skinning ceremony.
Well,
Eh,
we're gonna have a snake skin. Oh Lord. Oh my gosh, Mr. Ford, who winning between Jackson State and FAMU?
Right now, I'm picking Jackson.
You fixing who?
I'm picking Jackson.
Jackson by 40 or Jackson by a little bit?
No, I think it's going to be a classic game.
Yeah, it'd probably be a
I
classic.
think it'll
Y'all
be a
hear
classic
that?
game.
You hear that in the
Because one
chat?
thing about
You hear what
FAM
Mr. Ford
now,
is
even remember when they get down, that that the second half, they best half is the second half. They'll get down, but I think if they get down now, I think it's gonna be a problem for them.
Yeah, Jackson need to come out and control the ball, man. They need to come out and control the
Oh,
ball.
I'm telling you, TC's play calling has been hot ever since that Grambling game. He's been running the clock up on people in that first half. But my thing is, Coach Quinn them let down. Teams have, to me, outperformed the Jackson State
The
defense in the
defense.
second half.
the offense got to hold on to the ball more than 4 minutes and 30 seconds and more than 5 minutes. It's got to be hold on to the ball, and the secondary got to hold up.
They don't need to slow the offense down though, Timona. The defensive coach needs to step up, put more packages in where they can play more players, where they can keep
Yep,
players fresh.
keep them fresh because you got personnel. Remember when they
You
came out
got
with the
to do
recruiting last year? One Jackson number two. You had the best
Minutes
signing
on
class,
offense.
then you have the
We
second
only
best.
had we had less than 20 minutes on offense. Now y'all know that the other team, Alabama A&M, had the ball for 40 minutes. We can all agree that statistically speaking, the offense can definitely, by the time the second half came, they couldn't run the ball because they had made the adjustments. That's what happened.
Okay,
So
now I cannot figure out how many minutes it took us to score. Look at the
minutes
amount
and
of
30
points.
seconds. Oh, it was like literally less than a minute we had already scored. And then the next drive, less than a minute and a half, we scored again. And then less than 30 seconds, we scored again. Like that's how it was.
So
Once we scored,
if it average out, how much would it be?
I'm gonna look because I know that the first quarter we had 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's 60 times, oops,
And we
60
scored
times.
twice.
So that's 270 seconds.
So we were
270
scoring
seconds.
every. So we were scoring every 4 minutes.
No, 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 no. 270 seconds. 270 seconds divided by 7, basically.
270 seconds is about 4 minutes, right?
Yeah, but we scored 21 points in 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was our total time possession?
It was 20 minutes for the whole game.
Okay. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So we were scoring every 5 minutes. It took us 5 minutes to score. So we had 20.
Hey, Doc.
I mean, we scored quick. I mean, it was just the defense let up. He put in the substitutes too early. It's the only way. Well, I'm not going to say it anymore. Mr. Ford is telling you, they just need to be more innovative, and they need to put more packages in. They need to play more players. That's what you got to what you have the players for, and you're not going to play them. What you're going to have this big recruiting class 2 years in a row, and you're not going to play these players.
Huh?
How you doing, Doc?
What's going on, Uncle Willie? I just finished watching that debacle streaming that debacle right there.
How did they lose the game, Doc? Because when I turned back over here, I think they was up 17-12 with 3 minutes inside their territory, with 3.5 minutes inside their territory. Am I right?
They should have took the safety, and then they were going to be down by. They would have been down by 5 because it was 19-12. They're down by 5, and then you pretty much got your defense out there. It was just the game was just crazy.
In 3 minutes, all that happened in 3.5 minutes.
They all have 3.5 minutes. Hey, that is true right there. Everybody got to play until they get punched in the mouth. When you get that Mike Tyson left hook, follow with that uppercut.
Look at this front runner. Look at this front runner. He was hiding when Southern was down. Now all of a sudden he's talking about great wind and rain.
Boy, you better thank God.
You about 45 minutes too late, an hour late.
You better thank God for Quay Davis. Tell him you better.
Quay Davis, you talking about Jackson State transfer?
Mm-hmm. He's the one who tied the game up.
Oh, he said he wasn't going out like that. He said he already lost to Jackson State. He ain't losing to Texas Southern.
He the one to tie the game up. I mean, it was a good game though. It was a good game. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Who was that quarterback? Because they said T-Set was coming back.
T-Set and Bottom played tonight.
But what did T-Set do?
He really didn't do too much. They was on his ass. That's what they was doing. Texas Southern defense is actually good though, but they was out there too long.
So Southern has had a lot of overtime games.
That stays second overtime game.
They be winning out by the chin of by the hair on their chin, right? Just by. So where's the standings at now? With that Southern.
So Southern is, let me see, if I'm not mistaken, Southern
second.
Second, yeah, they're 2-0. Now, see, here's the thing: Alcorn and Southern play next week.
Oh, next week finna get funky.
Boy, Jackson State versus FAMU and Alcorn State versus Southern, the top 2 teams on the SWAC East and on the SWAC West.
And then here's another thing: Pine Bluff go to Grambling on Saturday.
Man, I need to go down to Vicksburg.
What you gonna do in Vicksburg? What you gonna do in Vicksburg?
I'm gonna parlay 2 different ways.
That's what you about to do. You gonna do a
round robin? What you doing, a round robin?
No, I'm gonna probably do a couple of A couple
I feel
parlays
like
because I'll take a bet with Pine Bluff over Grambling. I believe they're surprising.
I think they will win that
I would
game.
do Jackson State over. Jackson State
FAMU.
money line.
Yeah, the money line. Yeah,
Money line with Jackson State. The over.
They ain't got it out yet. I was looking for it. I was looking for it. They ain't got it out yet.
Think they're gonna give Jackson State the slight edge. It'll probably be 2 or 3.
About 3.5.
Yeah.
Like three.
just
Three
take
and
the
a
money
half.
line. Just take the money line.
Yeah, just take
Yeah.
the money line and then the over.
Oh
It should be a
man,
shootout, definitely. We definitely should be going over.
you say Alcorn and Southern is playing. Okay, I'll take
Yeah,
that.
in Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge.
Oh, they said UAPB might win in Grambling. Grambling not going outside like that after. No,
Grambling's cornerbacks is not. Grambling's cornerbacks are not that great.
You cannot go from this.
G Teller said they going to the boat. Man, I'm gonna go try to go. I'm gonna try to get down to Vicksburg. I got to.
All right, go ahead and give your prediction score for Jackson State versus FAMU, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my little.
Oh, Miss Desi.
35 to 10.
35 to what?
10.
35 to 10? You think that Jackson State's defense can hold FAMU to 10? To a touchdown?
I think not only can they hold them to 10, I believe they're gonna hold them under 250 yards total offense.
Hold on. Need a drink on that.
250
total offense.
Well, I know that they can definitely stuff them in the middle, right? Oh no, Tillery didn't. Oh no,
you know he gonna go. You know he gonna.
Damn well, he did not do that. This is Sutton over here. He's tripping. Talk about 38 to 28. The devil is.
Don't feel bad because they got to play him too.
And they never beat him.
They got to play FAMU too. Miss Desi just pointed out to me for next week when Pine Bluff go to Grambling. That's Grambling's homecoming.
Y'all gonna stop scheduling UAPB for y'all homecoming. Coach Hampton said he is not the one. He's over here. He's like, thank you for inviting us to the homecoming, but he is not the one. He is not going to become the proverbial homecoming team. He said he know what that means.
So I got a question for you. Since we on SWAC Saturdays, right? It's SWAC Saturdays, right?
That's what it is. Yeah, SWAC Saturday.
Okay, so we got 2 weeks. We got the Magic City Classic. Both teams at 3-3. Who gets the U-Haul first? Coach E-Rob or Coach Maynard?
Why would Coach E-Rob get a U-Haul?
Wow.
You see how he managed this team with the quarterbacks that he has?
The quarterbacks are literally like freshmen. Like
body is hurt.
Right. Hey. He wouldn't. Alabama State has.
He was doing that when body before her body got hurt, I believe.
The number one.
Yeah,
defense.
but
some number one defense.
Some folks.
I don't know where y'all are getting that from. I don't know who is saying that. Like,
what you about to say about?
Who's gonna do better? Please tell me who's doing better.
In what?
In coaching, who is going to better coach outside of? Okay, Alabama State still has the number one defense in the SWAC. I don't even understand where people are getting that from to even suggest that he is in the hot seat. He literally lost the quarterback that everybody.
He lost 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
2 of the things.
Okay, so the O'Brien, he had a concussion, and so he had to retire because he had too many concussions. Andrew Body, his shoulder, of course. So there goes those. he's really basically doing the best that he can with what he has.
He's basically running a triple option offense.
Like
Go.
he doesn't have a quarterback. But outside of that, he still has the number 1 defense.
Yeah, but what can you?
Number 5 offense with a number 5 offense with a 4th or 5th string quarterback. Like I don't understand that.
It just you because you're putting all your eggs in the basket, not with the quarterback, but you doing it
And
with
he
your
did
running
have
backs.
2 starters. His 2 starters was O'Brien and Body, and they're out. So for me, I feel like Alabama State is,
Oh no, that defense like that though.
That it wouldn't make sense for you to clear out a whole team just because the offense isn't good this year. He just got the offensive coordinator. He deserves another year.
The offensive coordinator to me is trash. He couldn't get it. He couldn't get it done he couldn't get it done at A&T. He couldn't get it done at Winston-Salem. So he on his 13 in 3 years.
Mr. Ford, do you hear this? He said that the offense is trash, or the offensive coordinator's play calling.
Are you talking about the guy at Alabama State?
Yeah, Chris Barnett.
Saying this blasphemy?
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I don't think that he's allowing that guy to work. I think he's got severe restraints on that guy. And basically, I think he's just making this. All they want to do is run the ball. They one-dimensional.
That's what I'm saying. They a triple
They're
option team.
one-dimensional.
They a triple option team. The only thing they're missing is a fullback dive.
Did you watch their game today and see how much?
Yeah, I watched
they have.
I watched the game. But it's against Valley.
That man had 4 touchdowns. You was looking for some play. You was looking for the pass, right?
Man, they were playing against Valley. Nothing against Valley, but they playing against Valley. You better run for you better throw for 300 some yards. You playing against Valley.
Yeah, I definitely do not agree with that. It wouldn't make any sense. You're going to dismantle Alabama State's defense. Who's
I never said no, but I never
bring
said
in a brand new coach to start all the way over. Where do you think your recruiting is going to go?
But here's the thing,
coach and have to start over. You're going to be losing again.
But here's the thing: I never said dismantle your defense, because the defensive coordinator stayed with it. The defensive coordinator was the same defensive coordinator for Alabama State before E-Rob even got there. So
no. He brought that guy from Bethune-Cookman, didn't he? I think he had gone to Edward Waters or somewhere.
Who? Talking about Ryan Lewis?
Yeah. Robinson brought Ryan Lewis there.
Because Seward was the defensive coordinator when Coach Hill was there. But at the same time, man, you're not dismantling it. My whole thing is you gotta ease up on the running, because they're gonna stack 8-9 folks in the box, and they're gonna dare you to run on them. But I'm just saying, it's just some people saying, well, it's cool, but then there's other people saying, we could get a coach that know how to actually have an offense.
Blasphemy, straight blasphemy.
But
straight bull. That's bull junk. Saying that a coach should exit out of stage left because he had a breakdown in the quarterback. Do you know how many teams don't have a quarterback in the SWAC? And they also don't have the defense.
I'll say this. Let him go. If he lose in 2 weeks in the Magic City Classic to A&M.
No.
I think he will.
Don't be over here trying to clear out. See, Doc, you're not Mr. Ford. You need to stop trying to
I'm not clearing nobody out. I ain't got no pink slip.
You need to stop clearing out coaches, because you are not Mr. Ford. And unlike Mr. Ford, you be interviewing some of these coaches, so you just
I
gotta
interview all
tread
my
lightly.
coaches.
No, I'm
good.
talking about
I'm
when
good.
you try to
But
ask them for interviews and stuff. Like, just
hey,
let the old heads do that, and you just
hey,
comment on it.
I'm just saying this is just me. This is my opinion. If you don't win the Magic City Classic, because it's one of the that's is always in your contract. If you're at an Alabama school, you got to win the MCC. Whether you at A&M or you at State, but there's going to be a little bit of heat on him if he don't win that game. Because from what I saw with A&M and their play, even though it was Bethune, Maynard should have been started Langford from the jump, point blank. But it's going to be an interesting game right there in 2 weeks. But that's 2 weeks on down the road. The Alcorn and Southern game is going to be very interesting because either one of them teams have an offense that is worth saving. Like they don't. None of them teams don't have an offense. Why you say live?
I could name about 8 of the SWAC teams that don't have an offense currently, and they don't have that level of defense either.
Well, I'm just saying, we just talking about those two. They ain't got no offense. Alcorn,
And we still and on top of that, we still have to play Alabama State at their home. I'm sorry, I'm not going to discount any particular team at all. I'm just not.
I never said
So
discount.
let's see what the rest of their schedule looks like. Realistically speaking, of course, they have a bye week, and then they have Alabama A&M. Right now, they're 3-3 overall. If I'm looking at their games, I definitely think they can beat Prairie View.
Anybody could beat Prairie View.
What happened?
Anybody could beat Prairie View. North Crowley, which is a high school team here.
I feel like they can beat Alcorn State.
Prairie View.
I feel like Alcorn State and Alabama State, they match up offensively and defensively. Defensively, Alabama State has the edge. Offensively, Alcorn State's offense has not been that good.
It's not been that good, but it's
against UAPB.
It hasn't been that good, but it's a step better than Alabama State's offense.
Is it? They played Valley and UAPB. So what do you have it to go by? Because against who? Alcorn against Valley? Alcorn against Valley? Because Alabama State put up more than
but
Alcorn did.
But what I'm saying is their offense is I think is a little bit more a step ahead of Alabama State, especially if you're one dimensional.
Because I haven't really seen an Alcorn offense. They scored 17 points, just as much as that's Alabama State's regular amount, and that's how much that Alcorn scored against Grambling. Their highest scoring game was against Valley, and Alabama State put up 50 plus against Valley. So I think that it's kind of presumptuous to say that their coach should be looked at as being in the hot seat. He just needs to recruit a better quarterback and not have hung his head on Andrew Body, which I feel like that was kind of like a fan favorite, and maybe he felt pressured into getting him as his quarterback. And then he knew by Orange Blossom Classic that Andrew Body, couldn't throw the ball, which is why he had so many running packages for him.
Why would he not think that he couldn't throw the ball? Like he was
Based off of his play, based off the offensive play calling and the way that they were matching up O'Brien and Body, obviously they put Body out there to do the running and O'Brien out there to do the passing. That's why they had two quarterbacks. So
turn him into a glorified running back.
I mean, his parents probably didn't want him to do that.
I wouldn't want to do that either. You got an arm, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they got then after they play Alcorn, they got Grambling on the 9th of November, and then we go to Jackson. I mean, we go down to Montgomery. So yeah. I can see them going. I can see them.
They have better defenses than literally all of those teams above named matched up. So they've usually hold their teams to how many points per game does it say? It's up to 18.7 points per game. That's how much they average. They allow to score 18.7 points per game, while averaging 24.7 offensively per game. And that, of course, exponentially increased. But anyway, that's enough of that. I guess I will see y'all on Thursday for FAMU versus Jackson State. Right, ain't nobody studying Sutton.
Southern just need to get their ass whooped because of that horrible offensive play. But then again, but their defense was on point though. I give them that. Y'all better knuckle up next week because that's gonna be a very interesting game down in Baton Rouge. And
that's their homecoming.
That's a homecoming. I have to ask.
Ooh, Southern gonna get whooped just like last year. Well, we don't need to speak on peasants we've already beaten. We get ready to go to bed. You late?
You want my prediction? Want my prediction for Saturday? Because I don't think I'm gonna be there. But I got Jackson State, 34. I'm gonna give FAMU 21. I'm gonna give them something. 21.
Jackson 34, State 21. 56. Southern 14. FAMU 14. Yep, it's Southern.
Boy, you better.
I don't know why he keeps putting this up here. You already put your prediction. We seen you.
G Tiller, you hungry? You better Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Is God's beginning and end is still in here? He gone. Is he gone?
I don't know if he gone, but
he might still be watching. Boy.
I don't know if he gone, but that was bad.
A belt to ass, right?
It sure was.
Prairie View, they didn't come to the floor. They said that they were busy. They couldn't come. So, you know how that go. They ain't even come to the chat. He got blocked by 40.
That's crazy.
Oh, all right. Well, as always, I'm gonna go ahead and lead out.
Yeah, have a good one. I'll holler at you later.
Yes, and some lead us in prayer, and y'all have a good night and be safe. And this is for, of course, Grambling, and their end of their season, and Prairie View and the end of their season. Bethune-Cookman, prayers to them as well, and FAMU for next week.
I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around, and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I don't talk to the clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, Lord. Lord, why so much pain? But He knows one day for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. But He is so good to me. He's been good to me. More than this world or you could ever be. He's been so good. But He knows one day for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see, so I'll just say, thank you, Lord.